Hola Madridistas, welcome to the preview for the Las Palmas game presented by Manscaped. So if you want to keep your ball smooth and shiny like Jude Bellingham, think no further than Manscaped's wide array of products. Use code LBR20 on manscaped.com for a sweet 20% off and free shipping. That's code LBR20 on manscaped.com. Anyways, after all of that, let's get back into business. As Real Madrid fans, we are all thinking, this week would be one easy week before the big storm in February. But, games like Almeria really make you think again. But before we get into all of that, we have a very special guest in the form of Matt. He's a huge Las Palmas fan from the UK. He's also part of the Las Palmas UK group. So, hey, Matt, how are you doing?
Evening, all good, thank you. Self.
I mean, we don't see a lot of those, Las Palmas fans from the UK. How did that actually happen?
I moved to Gran Canaria in 2010 for a job. Didn't speak a word of Spanish, didn't know anything about the island, and just used football as a way to basically learn and to try and integrate with people and, read newspapers, try and understand what I'm reading, watch the telly, try and understand what's happening with the football. And then realised the island had got a team that were in the second division at the time and use that as a way to learn.
Okay, were you around when Las Palmas last came to La Liga? So that was back in 2018, I believe. Or
Yeah, so 2015 we got promoted. Had a couple of good seasons and then had a terrible season. I'd left the island by then, but in those years in La Liga, I did a couple of games away. I think my first away game was actually at the Santiago Bernabeu with the 3-1, I think it was, 2015. So yeah, it was nice to see us go up. Not nice to see us go back down. Nice to see us go back up again recently.
Mm. So you actually got to see Cristiano and who else was playing in goal at that time?
Oh, it may have been Navas, but then again, it may have been Garcia, possibly.
Probably
Uh,
Navas though.
yeah, and I think Hesse scored for Real Madrid, obviously from Gran Canaria.
Yep.
I know we scored a header, but yeah, completely outclassed from what I remember of that day.
Yeah, that was a long while back. Even, Jesse's name is not a name that we hear nowadays, but yeah.
A lot of failed potential.
Yeah, to say the least. So I also from your Twitter, I hear that you're a big fan of stadiums, and you've actually been to a lot of stadiums. I wanted to ask, what's the best stadium that no one has heard of?
The best stadium that nobody has heard of. In my opinion, people are going to have heard of it, and it might have changed its name because of sponsorship reasons. But the Rhine Energy Stadion,
Mm.
which is in Köln or Cologne in Germany.
Why was it? Was it because of the free-flowing beer?
one advantage to German football, yeah. No, it was. I think it would have been. I think it's just the way it's built. It's got that sort of feeling that you're quite close to the pitch still, even though it's a big stadium. German fans, obviously, they've got an atmosphere all the way through the game. They're known as some of the the loudest and best fans in terms of vocal support and atmosphere in Europe. I think there were a fair few goals there, but you can't necessarily pick one stadium. Every single one's got their own little quirks, as far as I'm concerned.
What did you think about the Bernabeu? I think you went before the renovation, but what did you think about it?
Yeah, the renovations. I don't know if they've just encased all of the old structure or if just to make it visually nicer. But they've added about 10 or 15,000 extra seats, I believe.
Mm-hmm. They've made the seats
Um,
wider. They made it pretty looking. The pitch is different now. There's a retractable roof.
yeah, the roof it was covered all the way around, and I think I can remember seeing. I think did they got heaters
Yeah.
at the top as well. That's the only time I've ever seen that in the stadium. To be fair,
Okay.
but yeah, it's taken a while. Um, but yeah, no, it looks good. Looks good.
Yeah. I guess that's what money can buy, if you're the best club in the world, you can actually get heaters.
Yeah, yeah. Or if you just have really cold winters.
Yeah. Yeah. Right. Yeah, well, heading to Las Palmas. It's not been easy, hasn't it, in the last couple of years? I believe there was a big heartbreak as well, like when you guys went on to the playoffs in one of the seasons before, and you guys actually lost. So how was the journey? And you guys aren't doing too bad, in this season.
Yeah, so obviously relegated in 2017-18 season. It's a horrible league to try and get out of. A lot of teams have suffered consecutive relegations as well, just because of the financial restrictions that get put in place and the lack of know-how how to play in the division. You're right, there was some heartbreak. We made a late push for the playoffs in the season before last, and we just crumbled against Tenerife in the semi-finals. Anybody who's not familiar, Tenerife are our rivals. They're cross island rivals, cross provincial rivals, and yeah, to go out in the way that we did wasn't great. But we got a bit of redemption last season. Difficult to get up. There was, every team that was fighting for promotion had spells where they couldn't buy a point. Levante, Alaves, Granada, us, just to name a few teams that went 3 and 4 games without a win at one point.
Wow. Is it just because of the players, or is it because of the nature of the league? So do the other teams just sit back and defend, or is there some actual good football going on?
I think there can be some good football at times, but then obviously when you have somebody like Pimienta who has his style of play, that was one criticism that we had was as fans, there's no plan B. Now, plan A got us promotion, so why do we need a plan B? Yeah, completely understand that. But when you just need something else, there doesn't tend to be the something else there. And you talk about different ways of playing the game, or differences in standard. I'll touch on a lad who's currently at AFCON, Omanuke Mfulu. Elche got promoted the season before we did, and we bought Mfulu from Elche. He was an absolute machine for them in the second division in front of the back four. He was an absolute machine in front of the back four for us in the second division. But why did Elche sell him? And then why hasn't he had minutes in La Liga for us? He's a machine, but maybe he's not technically enough. Maybe he's not quick enough.
Mm.
If ever there's an example, Fulu's one of them, of players who are brilliant in Segunda but just can't cut it in La Liga, maybe. And then also the lad that's been and gone sort of from us recently over the years, Sergio Araujo. Originally in 2015, he single-handedly took us up almost. In La Liga, couldn't buy a goal. Was he a great La Liga player and a great Segunda player and a poor La Liga player? I don't know. But, the league is different. There's a lot more quality. There's a lot more money, bigger pitches. But, yeah, so many different variables.
Yeah. La Liga 2 is complicated, and even in the fourth and the third divisions, our Castilla team it's perpetually in the fourth division. We sometimes make it to the playoffs, but it's always so hard towards the end. It's not just about the quality of the players; it's just that the quality of the staff, the coaching staff, and even the pitches as well. Like sometimes you see these Castilla kids just balling in a pitch that's really good, but when it comes to the fourth division, like the quality of the pitches aren't uh, are in a shoe-in, right? So sometimes that
Yeah,
is also a major factor.
yeah, definitely.
Yeah. But speaking of Tenerife, I think they're right now on top of the Segunda. We might actually see two teams from the Canary Islands next season.
They've been struggling. They're more mid-table.
The mid-table.
They've Yeah, I think they've only won something like 6 points out of the last 33.
Oh wow.
Um, I saw a tweet from somebody the other day, and at the start of the season, yeah, promotion candidates. If you were to put a bet on anybody after the first 6 games, it'd probably be them, Zaragoza, and somebody else. But yeah, they've just completely gone off it.
Wow. So who do you think stands? Who's on the leaderboard right now?
I think there's Valladolid, Elche, Leganés are up there.
Oh, Leganes.
Um, yeah, so Sporting are up there. Eibar are up there. Ferrol, who came up last season,
Hmm.
they're up there. They're surprising a few people. They'll be in the playoffs coming the end of the season.
Right. Yeah, man. I mean, Messi's gone, so what's the point of having Eibar back in the league? That's what a lot of Barca fans will say.
Nah, Eibar did well. They stood their ground for a few years, but like I said, they're the team now that they were a team again last season. They couldn't buy a win at one point and didn't go up.
Yeah.
So there's a lot of historically and recent La Liga teams that are stuck in that second division.
Yeah. But your coach Pimenta, he's been with you, right? And he was originally from the Barca B Academy. So I thought okay, obviously there's the possession and everything like that goes into his tactics. But how is it possible that you guys have the second best defense in the league?
Yeah, you were there for 10 or 13 years or so, I think. How is it possible? I'll be honest, I don't know. we didn't settle. We scored a last minute goal against Granada in a game at home. We barely conceded in the first 6 games or so. We barely scored in the first 6 games. And I don't know if we just settled down. There's a lad who follows the UK page on Twitter, Mark, and he was like, yeah, we need to just trust in the situation, trust in the boss, trust in the style. Once we get used to it, that's going to be fine. And I have my doubts. I'm not going to lie. Is it going to work? Have we got players that are good enough? Can players adapt? But since that Granada game, yeah, we've been on it, and I think you know Mika Marmol, who we signed from Andorra, I think even Real Madrid, Atletico, and Athletic, no, not Athletic Club, Real Sociedad, they've been touted as being interested.
Okay.
Um, Saul Coco, he's at the AFCON at the minute. He's been brilliant, and Alvaro Valles is probably the best keeper in the league at the minute.
Absolutely, man. That was what I was about to say. Is your defense down to basically your goalkeeper being on red hot form? Because when we,
Yeah, he probably
yeah,
he celebrates every save like he's scored. He's not rattling the defense. He's calm. His distribution's on point. His movement's great. Positioning's great. And we also play with a high line, so he does the whole Neuer role as well. But ultimately he's the last line of defense. So yeah, he probably is the reason that we're doing so well.
yeah, I remember we had, I think Joselu was the one when we met up earlier in the season where he had like a bunch of chances. Fans were starting to boo him. It was really looking bad. And even Brahim, he was clean on through on goal, but then Valles did a great job sweeping up. So good to know that he's still on form, and we know what to expect.
Yeah. Yeah, and I think the high line might be a problem for us.
Well, we aren't going to be missing our main weapon. So you got that going for you at least. So Jude Bellingham's he's
Yeah,
out with like all of these yellow accumulations.
yeah, he's some player, isn't he? It's ridiculous.
Yeah.
You know, my team in England, Derby County, they were in the Championship when he sort of came around, and he'd gone as quickly as he appeared in the second level of English football. He'd gone to Dortmund, and he's doing bits at Dortmund. Yeah, every game he's played for England has been brilliant. Then you see him move to Madrid, and you think, is it too early? Is it the right move? Is it? But just smashing it. Just makes the game look easy.
Yeah. I mean, initially it was just about his goals. He wasn't really finding that fit in midfield, but right now I think we've got the best out of him right now in midfield. He doesn't need to be scoring goals to really, be the man of the match every single match.
Yeah, but of course, playing in midfield comes the risks and 5 yellow cards. But it's not like you've not got players that can come in. I'm guessing you've got what Valverde can play in the middle, Ceballos.
No, man.
There's
Fuck no,
players. There's
no
still
Ceballos. Like,
quality.
we can't have Ceballos playing there. It's probably going to be Brahim Diaz.
Yeah, maybe a bit further forward. Yeah,
Yeah.
but again, he's one that's left Madrid will come back into, and he's doing well this season.
Yeah. Nobody expected that. In Milan, he had a really red hot start, but then ever since he got COVID, he wasn't really the same player. And but suddenly, like in Madrid, he seems to have found his confidence. Actually affecting games, giving out those assists and goals, crucial goals too.
Yeah.
But speaking about crucial goals, when we played in the first time, in the first leg, didn't Munir start in goal? I mean, start in front of goal. Uh, or did you
He
have another
probably did.
striker?
Yeah.
Yeah. What was that
Um,
about? Like he wasn't any time natural striker, and I feel like even at that point you guys had a striker, but why did you guys start Munir?
I don't know. There's a lot of ex-Barca connections from Sandro, Munir, Marmol was at Barcelona at one point, and I think Mark Cardona, who's probably the striker that we probably should have started in that game, and maybe we should have started more often. They've all been under Pimienta at some point, so Pimienta must know something and have some form of trust.
Mm.
But our biggest problem is scoring goals.
Yep.
Possession doesn't win your game. Stats don't win your games. Goals win your games, and we're struggling. And if I could ask for one thing in the transfer window, it's to get a goal scorer, because we can't go into next season with an injury-prone Sandro and Munir who can't hit the net, and a striker who helped us into the first division and hasn't been given a chance really in the top division.
Okay, so it's gonna be Sandro playing in the game, right? Or is someone else on form?
It's probably going to be a front three that will be Molero on the left, Sandro or Munir on the right, and Sandro or Munir up front.
Mm. But you guys, fuck. I was just looking at transfer market, and it looks like none of your strikers are on top. It's one of your midfielders who's actually the top scorer for you guys.
Kirian, yeah, he's scored a couple of goals from outside the box. He's been raved about in match reviews. Let's not forget 2 years ago, this is a bloke who was diagnosed with a form of cancer and took some time out of the game.
Mm-hmm.
And towards the back end of last season, came back into the fold, having got a professional contract back in the winter market, and he just epitomises what Garcia Pimienta wants to do. I think he's the Tony Kroos, he's the Luka Modric, he's just that calm player that wants the ball, that knows where the ball's going to go, that sets the tempo, that does the directing, and if he can score a few goals, then he can score a few goals.
So he does actually play in Toni Kroos's position, which is left of the midfield.
He'll sort of. We've got quite an interchangeable. It's almost like it's a 4-2-3-1 or a 4-1-3, 4-1-2-3. I don't know. I lose track.
Yeah.
But normally it's him that wants the ball, and then you've got him or Perone will want the ball. Javi Munoz is the box to box, who I think he came through the Real Madrid academy. Javi Munoz. So yeah, he does the box to box. So yeah, maybe if you said you did a 4-2-1-3 or something, I don't know. But Kyrian's I think he's the one that everybody in the team can trust. And I think he thrives on it and he performs with it.
Right. And you guys don't even need to worry about defense. So you got Araujo from wish.com. Who else is in defense?
Araujo will be suspended, won't he? Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, he got a silly sending off in the Copa del Rey game.
So that carries over to La Liga? I did not know that.
Yeah, because it's just classed as a domestic competition and a domestic ban.
Ah.
So it'll probably be Alex Suarez on the right, which is possibly what worries me about Vinny coming down the left.
Mm-hmm.
We might see Marvin Park on the right wing, but he never seems to play a full game. But he's got pace; he could help Alex out maybe. Sergio Cardona will be on the left back slot, and then it will be Mika Marmol and Juanma Herzog, who's only 19, played 2 professional games, one in the Copa del Rey, and 3 games, played against Villarreal, Copa del Rey game, and Rayo Vallecano last week.
Right. So he's been starting all the recent games.
Yeah. So 19 years old, come through the academy. Another one that Tenerife had let go. Tenerife have a habit of letting players leave their academy or tell them they're not good enough when they're young, and then other teams will bring them on. The likes of Milero, Kyrian, Pedro from wish.com. Yeah, they have a habit. Omar Mascarell was another one. He did well in Germany at one point. Yeah. So yeah, and I think Mascarell, he was at Real Madrid as well, wasn't he?
Mm-hmm. How was actually Marvin Park? Has he actually improved the defensive part of his game? He was always very decent technically and with the space and whatnot.
He's been used as more of a right winger.
Okay.
So he's played at right back. Not really seen much of him defensively.
All right.
Last season it was him and Jimenez, who we had on loan from Cadiz. Them two tended to play on the right. Then we've got this year it's normally Pajinho or Marvin. But like I say, Marvin will only play half an hour. But he's quite injury prone as well. Struggled a fair bit with injuries.
Okay. And so I guess you guys are suffering the same as us, like a bunch of injuries and, suspensions, the AFCON, everything hitting all at once. Is it the case?
Yeah, we've had, Sandro's been out for a bit. It seems to be able to play 3 games and needs 3 games to recover from something. AFCON's could have been worrying with Saul Cook being away, but the way that Herzog's come in and done so well, we're probably not as worried now. And I think Kyrian made sure he got booked so that he could play against Barcelona. So he made sure that he was missing that game before. So there was no risk of him missing the Barca game.
Mm-hmm.
But I think we've not really had any injuries as such. We had the sending off in the Barcelona game, the Dutch guy, Sint-Graven. Pimienta wanted to rotate some players, give some players a rest, but that meant he couldn't.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, the suspension for Araujo as well. Yeah, we could have probably done with a bit of rotation because we do want to keep the ball. We want to use the wings. They're probably the two places you'd want to rotate.
Yeah. Do you actually think Las Palmas can keep a hold on to this eighth? You're right, in the eighth position or ninth position. You think you can like finish top table easy?
I don't know. I genuinely don't know. I look at the teams that are around us and I think, great, yeah, we're doing well there. And then I also look at teams that are just below us and think, well, how are you also there and how are you not struggling?
Mhm.
Everyone normally has Getafe down as a bottom 5 team or bottom 6 team. Rayo Vallecano, historically, yo-yo, they're up, they're down. Osasuna have only just really consolidated a top half position in the last few years. If we can stay there, then yeah, I'm happy. But then the question is can we keep hold of players? And then if we need to improve or buy in the summer, how do we improve on it?
Yeah, I mean, staying up will always help. But it is true. Speaking about Rayo Vallecano, they're always a nightmare for us to play against. Even Getafe, like I'm not look. We're gonna be facing against them after you guys, and I'm not looking forward to that at all. Always a hard job.
Getafe just play anti-football, don't they?
They do have, a really nice right winger right now. So they do have some attacking prowess as well. I have seen a couple of really good plays from him. I'm not sure. I'm not sure if they are gonna keep a hold of him for next season, but let's see. I'm talking about Greenwood, of
Yeah,
course. Yeah.
I think Greenwood. Yeah, I don't know what the score is with that whole situation,
Yeah.
but Manchester United got new owners. Other teams have now said they want to have an interest, and
Mm.
I don't know.
You think there is a way for him to come back to England and actually play, or is the situation too far gone? Maybe he can only play in maybe Italy or Spain. What do you think?
I don't know. Anybody who's seen the videos that were around at the time can make their own decision. Personally, he should never set foot on a football field again, and he should be left to rot behind bars.
Yeah.
That's my opinion. Some people will say that it never went through the judicial system, so therefore we can't say that. Some people will say you always deserve a second chance. But let's not forget there was a player who had issues in Spain who then came to England. Do you know what I'm talking about?
He was in Spain. No? Who are you talking about?
Marcus Alonso.
I'm not familiar with what did Alonso do?
I think he was involved in a car accident of some description, and the
Oh,
only way that he could carry on was to leave Spain.
oh
That's
wow.
why he ended up at Bolton all those years ago. So
I'm gonna have
yeah,
to read up after this pod, but yeah, that seems interesting.
yeah. So yeah, but yeah, as for Greenwood, I don't know.
Yeah. Did you guys face Getafe already, or are you still?
We would have played them at some point. Yeah, I think we beat them 2 or 3-0 at home.
Yeah.
I think it was 2-0. It was 2-0 at home.
Yeah, they're easy to beat. It's just that it's always a hard process, and just the sight of Damian Suarez coming and lashing out at your players, it always irks me.
Yeah, they did have I've just had a look on Google. They had a player sent off, so that's not surprising. That's not surprising, is it?
Yeah. Oh well. Yeah, I mean, we should probably be getting into the Real Madrid side of things, but before that, we have a message from our very own Mo. So he's gonna talk to you about a bit of Manscaped. Just give it a good listen if you guys are still around, and we'll be back with the Real Madrid news.
ever since we started this podcast, we've had people reach out to us and ask us, about how you guys can support us, how you guys can help us out in this mission that we have, that is to spread the good word about Real Madrid all around the world. So I guess this is an opportunity for us. This is a great opportunity for us, and this is an opportunity for you guys to help us out. So we're partnering with manscaped.com, and they're going to be our sponsors for the foreseeable future, as long as you guys pitch in and buy their products and help us out. So without further ado, this is like our first ever ad read we're doing on this podcast. So let me just read out everything that Manscaped sent to us, and I hope you guys will support us. So, roses are red, violets are blue, trim your balls and your date will love us too. What's up, fellas? So for Valentine's Day, Manscaped has partnered with us to bring a special offer to you guys. And what is the prescription from Manscaped? It is the all-new Performance Package 5.0 Ultra, designed to elevate your grooming game and shine like the heartthrob that you are. So let me just show you guys everything that is in this package right here. So Manscaped.com is a brand that is trusted by over 10 million men worldwide. When you're talking about Manscaped, you guys can be sure that it's all about quality. And right now, partnering with us, you can get this quality with a 20% discount and free shipping if you use our code, which is LBR20. It is written down on the screen that you guys can see. If you go to manscaped.com/LBR20 and use this code, you'll get a 20% discount and free shipping. So what's special about this Valentine's Day? I'm sure you guys have plans. You guys have special plans, and to get ready for those special plans, you probably need to be groomed right. So while grooming, you probably don't want to get cut in areas you don't want to get cut, don't want to get nicked in areas you don't want to get nicked. So for that, I think Valentine's Day, Manscaped.com has a very special product for you. It's called the Lawnmower 5.0 Ultra. So what is it? Let me just show it to you guys. So this is the Lawnmower 5.0 Ultra. It is designed to help you guys groom yourself without getting hurt and everything. So what does Manscaped say about this? Like, the special feature for this is like it has skin safe technology, which guards your V-Day treasures, Valentine's Day treasures, against any grooming mishaps like we talked about. Don't want to get nicked, right? Don't want to get nicked. It also comes with the brightest LED spotlight yet. It's brighter than your best romantic smile. Perfect for precise grooming, even in the trickiest spots. Oh, it's waterproof too, so you can use it in the shower, without damaging the equipment. But hey, that's not all. This thing also comes with a Weed Whacker 2.0. It's a special product for your nose. You don't want nose hair sticking out of your nares on your special day. But that's not all. They also have Manscaped's liquid formulation that is special for this, and 2 free goodies: the Shed travel bag and Boxers 2.0, because comfort is king for all my followers. And for a happy ending, there's a Manscaped Refined Cologne. It's a Valentine's Day touch for your grooming routine. Elevate your grooming routine and set the stage for a romantically smooth celebration. And for bearded people, people like me who have beards. Right now I've shaved, so you probably can't see it. But you have Manscaped brings you the Beard Hedger Pro Kit. Right now it's not with me, but it is designed to shape your scruff effortlessly. It sculpts your cheek lines and maintains your beard styles, giving you that suave look for your romantic moments. Seamlessly handling even the thickest of beards, it's the perfect tool for a polished, date-ready appearance. So get 20% off and free shipping with the code LBR20 at manscaped.com. That's right, 20% off with free shipping at manscaped.com, and use the code LBR20 because grooming upgrade awaits, ready to charm your Valentine's days.
Yeah, we heard it all from Mo. Matt, you didn't actually see the video, but then Mo was actually talking about the lawnmower trimmer that he had. When I first saw the video, I actually thought he was gonna, break out a kiwi and start shaving it. Well, that's generally how the sponsorships go. You basically have to do anything for the sweet sponsorship. But yeah.
At least we didn't get a live demo, Mo.
Yeah. That'll be quite a sight. Maybe for the next episode, yeah. Maybe. All right. Anyways, where were we? We were talking about the regulated side of things. So obviously, there's still the debate going on if we should actually keep playing Lunin we've actually talked about it on the pod a lot. Maybe we shouldn't go too much into it, but yeah, it looks like Lunin's gonna start this game, and the next one maybe he's gonna rotate. It's gonna be Kepa back again, but yeah, man, it just keeps happening. Let's just hope Lunin has a very decent game, so Ancelotti is actually forced to keep him in the lineup. Because come February, we actually need someone who's solid, who's gonna keep playing every single game. Because you know, like Ancelotti said, the next 4 league games are basically finals for us. If we manage to win it, like there's a very good chance we actually go on and win La Liga. But
Yeah, it was a strange thing when it originally happened for me, just watching from the outside.
Yeah.
But if he's doing well and he's earned the gloves, then keep the gloves and give the manager a headache. But then that's what you've got a good manager for. A manager should know what to do with his players and who fits where.
Yeah. Ancelotti's done that beautifully this season. Like we Real Madrid fans sometimes, especially last season, we're all like, "Come on, man! Ancelotti does not have the tactics. He's just a man manager." But the wonders that he has done with the players that he's had this season, I feel like he has deserved every bit of that contract extension. And yeah, the other quotes from Ancelotti. He was covering the fact that we actually had 2 days of rest. We didn't go for an all-out training session, so the team must be fresher at least than the Almeria game. But of course, Bellingham is out, so that's probably good for us heading into February. If Ancelotti is forced to bench Bellingham in probably a very winnable game for us. Do you think, Matt, or are you guys going to make it kind of difficult for us?
I think Bellingham's just a hell of a player, and we touched on it earlier on. But at the end of the day, you guys have got depth, and like I say, is it going to be Brahim or somebody similar to come in? Put it this way, I wouldn't like to play against Bellingham. I'd rather play against anybody else who fancies a kick about.
Right.
But yeah, he's on the verge of irreplaceable, isn't he?
Absolutely.
He's that good.
So, there's 2 possibilities, right, for Real Madrid in the lineups. It can either be Joselu and Vinny up top, or maybe Brahim comes in and it's Vinny and Rodrigo up top. Does Joselu scare you, or would you rather face off against Rodrigo?
I think I'd rather face Joselu just on the basis of, I wouldn't fancy running against Vinny's pace and skill. But then again, Joselu brings his own qualities. If even if that's just holding the ball and he's got his back to goal.
Yeah.
Let's not forget he started and scored against us earlier on in the season, so maybe it's going to be the same sort of thing again.
Yeah. With Joselu, it's just that he in most games he needs 5 good chances to score, and against Alaves, do you think you'll actually afford 5 really good chances? I know you guys play a high line. Even then, we still have Valles to get past, so I think having Joselu on is a good shout, or maybe Brahim and Rodrigo can actually do the job.
He would probably struggle against Brahim more so than Joselu, I think.
Just the high line, yeah?
Just the high line, yeah. Joselu, Real Madrid historically, well, since Benzema's left, I've not really seen many crosses go in the box for headers or anything like that. So yeah, and the high line, I don't know if we'll touch on that later, but yeah, it does worry me a bit.
Yeah, I mean, let's look at the Real Madrid lineups. I'm just going to run through it really quick. So since we're pretty much treating all of these La Liga games as a final for the next couple of weeks, we're going to see a really strong lineup. In defense, of course, we have no choice. It's going to be Carvajal, Rudiger, Nacho, and probably Mendy. In midfield, it's probably Valverde is back. He took a knock in the Almeria game, but he's back. He's back training, so he's gonna play. Toni Kroos is probably gonna play. Maybe he's gonna be replaced by Modric, but I don't really see it. I feel like Toni Kroos is the right man, to face this high line. He can put that ball in. Obviously, there's no Bellingham, but Brahim is probably the one who's probably going to start. And it's going to be joined by Vinny and Rodrigo up top. And, Joselu, if these guys can't actually score, Joselu is going to come in and clean up.
Probably, if he gets 5 chances.
If he gets 5 chances, yeah. Yeah, so that's pretty much a solid lineup that we're going to go for. And it's a good precursor to, to get a bit of momentum and give a bit of rest to Jude Bellingham as well before we face off against Getafe and, Atletico and whatnot. But we did have a couple of really, really big news in this week. Obviously, today we had the Jurgen Klopp announcement. What did you make of that, Matt? Did that surprise you?
Yeah, big surprise to be fair. I think is it something like 9 or 10 years that he's been at Liverpool.
Yeah.
He's rebuilt the midfield in the summer just gone. I'm surprised that he's not having another season or two. I think he had a couple of years to run on his deal.
Until 2026, yeah.
Yeah, so, the board have given him a bit of license to move players on. Milner,
Henderson.
Fabinho went to Saudi, didn't he? I think. Bring in players, Soboslai. Who's the guy brought in from Germany? Japanese bloke. Wandu Itaru or something like that. Wandu Itaru, something like that.
Yeah.
I'm just surprised that, he's got the young talent, McAllister, Harvey Elliott. I'm surprised that he's not wanting another season. But if he's running out of energy and that, then we've all got to slow down at some point.
All right.
I think if Ancelotti goes to Brazil, like they keep saying, Klopp to Real Madrid.
No, I just don't see it happening. I feel like the man is just, tired of the football coach job, and he needs to take like a couple of years off at least. At least.
Possibly. But then I say about him coming to Real Madrid, I think Xabi Alonso will do either Liverpool or Real Madrid, whoever asks first.
I think it's going to be Liverpool who asks first because I don't see us parting ways with Ancelotti even if we don't win anything this season. To be honest, because obviously the board hasn't backed him, and they know that. They know that he's basically performing miracles on the pitch with all of these players that he has. So I think he has his job pretty safe, and maybe Alonso to Liverpool. Do you think Alonso, like a young coach, it's going to be completely different tactics though? Do you think he can actually pull it off in Liverpool?
I'll be honest, I haven't watched much of the German stuff, so I don't actually know. But let's not forget, we've had players like Wayne Rooney, Steven Gerrard, Frank Lampard. They've been great players, but they ain't been great managers. So, maybe he can book the trend. But, yeah, it would be completely different, I think.
Yeah, it would be completely different. I feel like the tactics that he has pretty much suits the German style of football because he has his midfielders playing as tens, like 2 tens on the pitch at times, and just maybe one defender at the back. Or you can see all of them basically join the attack on counter-attacks. So it's really fun to watch. I'm not sure if it will translate to the Premier League. But yeah, let's see. He certainly seems to, be favored by all the fans on Twitter.
Yeah, doesn't surprise me.
Yeah. All right. We do have a comment from Rajat. Maybe you can take this one. So he predicts a 2-0 win for Real Madrid. And he says, Parma will go to Segunda.
How can we get to Segunda? I think we need something like 6 points and we're mathematically safe.
Yeah.
I think, maybe he's getting confused with the podcast that was earlier in the season. But yeah, no, I'll be honest, there's only yourselves and Barca who scored two against us. We haven't conceded 3 in a game.
Yeah.
I'm going to go for a draw. But as a fan, it's a game where you'd say, yeah, we should be losing this game because they're just two completely different teams, budgets, playing styles. But we've surprised plenty of teams this season.
What happened with the Girona game? Did you actually eke out a draw or something?
The Girona game, I think we lost 1-0. We played them at their place.
Okay.
I can't remember exactly what happened, but I think we lost it 1-0. But I mean, what a story that'll be if they win the league.
Definitely. Real Madrid fans say they're slipping, especially looking at the Copa del Rey, but the Copa del Rey doesn't really matter. Like, obviously, the home team has an advantage, and crazy things can happen, as we saw. All of the big teams are out except Atleti and Real Sociedad.
Yeah, who's the other semi-finals? Athletic Club Mallorca, isn't it?
Yep, exactly.
Yeah. Basque Derby final again.
Yeah, it'll be a sight to see, but not a lot of viewers as expected. But yeah, should be fun. I'm actually rooting for Athletic Club because just want to see Nico Williams actually win something, and Iñaki as well. He's getting on in the years, and it's probably like one of his last chance to win some silverware.
Yeah, I think the same probably said for Munayin. I think he would have won the Europa League, I think, under Bielsa. I think he might have won that. But yeah, he's a player who's stuck by the club. So yeah, get a bit of a reward.
Absolutely. So you were predicting just a 1-1, or like is it going to be a scoreless draw?
I think we'll concede. So yeah, let's go with 1-1.
1-1. I actually think it's going to be really hard breaking you guys down to, and it'll all depend on Vinny, right? So if he's on form, I know you guys are missing your main right back, but if the crowd will actually get behind you guys and get against Vinny, anything can happen. And if Vinny doesn't play well, like the team as a whole doesn't play well, so I feel like if we get an early goal, it'll be easy going for us. Otherwise, we're going to struggle. So I'm going to say a difficult 1-0 victory for us. At the same time, I don't think we're going to concede because the focus is going to be on the defense, and Ancelotti probably has fixes in place, to combat the recent losses. Yeah.
Yeah.
Raja says now, okay, just to combat my prediction, he's going to say a final win. I don't know what you're on, mate.
I think I upset him. Sorry. But it could turn into something like that, because of the way we play. We aren't. If you went 2-0 up in 20 minutes, we won't change. It could turn into a game like that. Somebody could really turn us over one day.
Yeah, I highly doubt it, just because our attackers haven't been on point. Like they do need like a few chances to actually score, which is why I don't think that'll happen. It's probably going to be very difficult, but hopefully we get the win. But yeah, Matt, do you have anything else to add, or we can like slowly wrap this up?
No, we can wrap it up. It's been good to chat, and cheers for the invite.
Yeah, it's been a pleasure. So you guys who are following along, you can find Matt's Twitter in the description below. Has all sort of Las Palmas content. What else do you tweet about?
What else do I tweet about? If anybody follows UK politics, I don't like the Conservative Party. What else do I tweet? Derby County is my team in England. I am going to the Granada away game next week as well. And then we've also got the UDLP_UK Twitter account, which just tries to give as much info on the club in English. And, just we're known by the club, we're known by the fans. So yeah, drop us a follow if you wish.
Absolutely. So definitely, if you're a La Liga fan and you want some actual English content, go check the Twitter out. And of course, we have our sponsors to thank for in this video. Guys, like I've got to ask, like it's not too much. I know Some of the products on there are like $15, $20. If you can, and if you want to support the podcast, go and buy one of them. Use the code LBR20. It'll really help the podcast and us moving forward. And yeah, we've also got to thank our partners over at Real Madrid Committee, who do some awesome work on Instagram and help us out. Check us out. This is going to be an away game, so there's not going to be any fan camps from the Bernabeu. But for the next game against Getafe, we'll be back. So yeah, until next time, folks. Hala Madrid. Matt, you can say anything you want, whatever comes to mind.
Hala Madrid, unanimous.
All right.